my ex who left me when I was pregnant. So these things happen, and I've been punished for it for 16 years now. And, you know, kids get punished with it because what they don't realise, and if they do realise, they don't care then, because kids pick up everything. Kids, if you go through abuse, your daughter's going through abuse because they use a child as the weapon, because they know that they're taken away and hurting, you know, and you're taken away the most precious thing in your life, the most dearest and loved human being that, you know, as a mother, the most precious thing in your life. So they use that precious thing in your life, your daughter, their son, you know, so as a weapon to take my little star, my, you know, my baby girl, you know, my precious miracle. That's how I see babies. That's how I see my babies, my kids. And, you know, I think it's amazing, childbirth and babies, you know, so, and, that's why they do it, guys. When you've got children, narcissists will pick on you, but also use your child as a weapon, and they're a pawn in their game of bullying, and they don't realise, or they don't know, or care. They bully the child to bully you and make you feel bad, because they're full of hate. They're full of anger and hatred and resentment and bitterness. So they will use the child and know that they're upset, this child, and in the middle, and, you know, will make them cry, and it's absolutely heartbreaking to go through domestic abuse and be on the receiving end of a narcissist when you have a child. It's a heartbreaking experience. It really is nothing worse than seeing your child affected by a parent, you know, because they can't and won't get their own way, because you're not giving in, you're not giving your child up, you're not dying, because that's what they want, to destroy you, to just wipe you off the planet. And, you know, it's evil. That is evil. They do evil things, you know, and people don't and won't believe it, because truth comes out in the end. I mean, it's now. I mean, you know, it is the truth, and that this is my truth, and, you know, I've got no reason to lie. I mean, I wouldn't lie about anything like this, and I don't lie about small things if I can help it. And this is how bad they get. This is how bad narcissists. This is why I talk about it a lot, you know, because I've been affected, and it's a horrible. It's a slow suffering. You know, every day I've suffered for 16 years, and that's not a joke. That's true, and I'm still, at some extent, suffering. But I've learned a lot of things. I've gone through a lot of things, so I'm more wiser and more educated and more, you know, experienced, and, you know, so I can probably help people because of what I've been through. And that's the only positive thing that comes out of being abused and being, you know, under control. And you have to be under the narcissist's control when you've got a child at some extent, because you've got a child and you're trying to keep this narcissist happy so they don't take it out on your child, and, you know, whatever, because they do. And they make it known, and they will, you know, make it known that your child is suffering, because they're getting so angry because you still have your child. And it's just an awful thing, because you have a diagnosis, because you have a label, you know. It doesn't mean or prove, nothing's proven that you're an animal, that you're a, you know, a bad person that goes around murdering people and hitting people, but people want to push you that way. These narcissists want to push you into being and creating you, but they can't do it. Like in my case, I won't let that person do it. I won't let anybody change me. I won't let anybody make me out to be someone I'm not, make lies up about me. They can do and say whatever to me, but don't touch an innocent child, be it through hurting the mother. They experience it because there's a bond between mother and children. There's a telepathic, believe it or not. Think I'm mad, I don't care, honestly. There's a bond. There's going to be a strong bond. There's going to be some tie. There's going to be a soul tie, a bond, because you are part of your child. Your child is part of you, and that child is part of the narcissist, the parent that is evil and trying to, you know, has been successfully hurting, you know, you, me, all these years. So, but there's a tie, there's a bond, you know, and so the child does get hurt because the child picks up, the child knows when you're upset. Children pick up on atmospheres so quickly. They are so, because they're sensitive. They're more sensitive than we are any day, much more sensitive, because they don't have the same brain advancement capacity to think and have all these different, you know, problems. Life is so much different for a child, obviously, because they're not developed and they don't think or, you know how what pain is to other people. They don't think about things like pain, you know. They just know that biting, you know, is just biting somebody, and they're not knowing that it hurts unless they, you know, get bit themselves. That's an example. So children, you know, obviously are so, like, they're just learning how to use their brain. They're learning how to use their hands. They're learning how to use their bodies physically, you know, just walking around. So they're just doing. They're not, you know, thinking. They're not. So what they are is sensitive to a lot of everything that they know, pick up more than we ever possibly can, because their brain is so empty, space, clean, that they pick up every little tiny thing. And, you know, where a mother is bonded and you know, look after your child, being pregnant, you know, is a safety and a home for a developing baby in your own body. So a child is bound to know and feel a mother's pain, and especially, you know, these narcissists will not think twice about putting your name down and slagging you off and shouting about you in front of the children. And that is also what affects the children and makes them angry, you know, because they can't tell you, because they're so young, what their partner, you know, their dad, your partner, ex-partner narcissist is saying about them. They feel it, they hear it, so their frustration from what they're hearing and their narcissist dad or mother's behaviour, you know, is hurting them and making them, and being angry as a child through that is affecting the child. Because my daughter used to have nosebleeds, really severe nosebleeds, and I think that was stress, because she couldn't physically tell me. She could only display her emotions and feelings and how she thought and what she heard through anger, because kids are frustrated. They can't talk, they can't express, they can't get it out. It's all inside. They're sponges. They absorb every single little thing. So all this abuse towards them, the partner, you know, about you, hearing it, you know, seeing things, you know, just knowing. Some kids are so very psychic, you know, they see ghosts, they see family members. My daughter see my granddad, he's not alive, and, you know, they see things that we don't, and, you know, some people don't, but 9 times out of 10 children see and feel and know and perceive and pick up a lot more than we can possibly imagine than we do. So this is what makes me angry inside and frustrated, and, you know, just wanting to change things. If I could, if I had the power, I would, you know, change every narcissist on this planet. And because I've been through it, and, you know, it affects me, and I feel I need to talk about it and help people. That's what I want to do through my pain, suffering, experience, and, you know, it's trying to stop it. You know, maybe I might add to it. Maybe I might try, you know, doing these videos and telling these things might help a little bit in some way. And to me, that's a lot. And, you know, we'd all love to change the world, wouldn't we? Get a magic wand, but it don't work. God works in mysterious ways. God God will sort these people out, guys. God knows and sees everything. He just wants, it goes on for so long because he thinks, he knows that that person thinks that they've won, that they're God themselves. These narcissists think they're above the law. They do everything behind closed doors that are illegal. A lot of things, right? That they can't see, you can't prove. This is why they're so dangerous, because they're so mad and, you know, so angry, and their minds just work out. They're always working out and planning. Always. Always. If they don't win, if they, you know, lose, for example, for a court, you know, you keeping your child, guys, and that, you're winning. They're planning. They're planning. They're planning right now. They're planning all the time. You know, their aim is to win, and they will use a child, and they'll, you know, win at all costs. They'll try to and want to win at all costs because it's a game, and it's funny to them as well. They think you're funny. They take the piss out of you, and they see it as, it's just sickening how they can smile and think things are funny, and they're really, ugh. It's a horrible thing to have, and I'm so grateful that God hasn't, you know, given me, or I've been cursed with this narcissism. You know, give me bipolar any day, give me, you know, ADHD, bloody autism on the spectrum, give it to me all, give all of it to me. You know, I'll make it into a creative thing like I do with my diagnosis of bipolar. I'll make good things out of bad, you know. I'll make everything pretty. Do you know what I'm saying? I will go against, like, what, you know, what that person wants you to be. Don't let that person, you know, make you sick and do things that are not aligned with who you really are and want to be and should be and what God wants you to be. Be who you are. Be true to yourself. Don't matter what they do. It does matter what they do. But, you know, what I mean is, be who, it doesn't matter by not complying and working, but complying to their threats and obligation. Don't be obligated. Don't, you know, they make you feel like that, you know. I felt like I was obligated to do a lot of things, and I had to comply to everything, and, you know, be just where I should be in their world, and that's put down and stay down and, you know, bow down and just give them their own. They want their own way. They're like kids, you know. They're spiteful if they don't get their own way, so they plan and bully you and want to get you back because you're doing nice things, you're getting on, and that hurts them the most. You know, being nice to them, being civil, because as a parent, I believe that every child, even if that person's a narcissist, even if that your child's parent is a bad person towards you, it's not the child's fault, you know. So a lot of people, and in the court of law, you know, you're not supposed to, not allowed to, and I don't believe in it, to put the partner down, the child's dad, your ex-partner, whether they're a narcissist or not, in front of the child. Put them down, you know, shout at them, blah, blah, blah. You can't protect them from everything. Kids know, you know, and I don't know how the courts and the law, you know, can expect it to be completely kept away from a child. And you have to still, by the, you know, the courts expect you to get on as people, but how can you get on with a person that's working against you? They're not going through or complying with the law, the laws of, you know, the justice system, the laws of the courts. In family courts, you've got to work together, and they expect you to, and you get given a bit of paper with those rules on it through the court. But how can you get on with a narcissist that doesn't, you know, give a shit about the rules and goes against the rules and doesn't even care about the rules? How does that happen? I was the nicest person to my ex-narcissist. You could be the nicest person, you could be an angel. That's why they hate you. That's why they want you to be a monster, to, you know, create anger issues, they love drama. They love the thrill of you getting angry. They like it. It makes them feel happy. It actually makes them laugh. They think it's funny, but it's not. And especially when there's an innocent child. Children don't deserve any of this. Children are innocent little beings, human beings. It just baffles me. But there's evil, guys. There's evil. And these people, unfortunately, I'm not saying it to be nasty, to put people, to just say it for the sake of it. There is evil, and narcissists are evil, because I've experienced and witnessed one. I've lived with, that person's been in my life for 16 years. I've got every, I know everything about the narcissism. I know. And, something will happen. Like, I believe there's light at the end of the tunnel, because it's like darkness all the time during this abuse and situation. It's not funny. There's no light. There's no happiness. There's no happiness in narcissism or any abuse. And it's sad to see that with your child crying over little things, because they're hurting. They're hurt, and it's the most heartbreaking thing. It's like, do what you like to me. Please don't hurt my child, innit? And it hurts me more that my child was hurt emotionally and feeling angry and having negative emotions at such a young age and not being able to express and just feeling upset and seeing your child cry and confused and angry and being pushed and pulled about, taken from school when they're not supposed to be. And that's another thing. Narcissists can get through schools and take your child out when it's not their turn to have your child. On paper, they've got a set. In court, you have to sort things out in court, not by the authorities of the police. These things have to be sorted out in court. The days, the access times, and it doesn't matter. You can have half custody or whatever rules there are, whatever access days you have that person, your partner has. They think they can overrule. They do overrule the law. They do overrule what's set in stone in court on paper. They just see it as paper. It doesn't mean nothing to a narcissist. The narcissist will go in, and my ex did go in the school and take her, abduct my own child, his own daughter, from me. And that confused my daughter because she knew I was picking her up. So I had to go to court and pay my auntie paid £250 for me to go to court, the next day, and get her back as an emergency court order to get her back, because he took her from school without my consent, without knowing. He did this to his other partner, who he left me for, his son's mother, his ex. He did the same thing to that child, his other child, with another partner. So, they do it to people because they're like robots. They're like, it's automatically wanting to be in control and have power and have their own way. And they will get their own way. They will have their own way. It doesn't matter who they hurt and what they do to get their own way. So they will do these things, and it just baffles me how they get away with doing these things. And this is why narcissism is so negative and such a bad, dangerous, awful condition, illness, trait, diagnosis. So it's an illness, but at the end of the day, it's an art, isn't it? Because they're good at what they do, whether they're bad or not. They are bad, and that's no secret. That's a fact. They're evil, but they're good at what they do. They're good at being evil. The devil, isn't it? Devil's very powerful, but the devil, the devil's not as powerful as God. God knows. God gives the devil, you know, a chance. And I just think that, you know, I hold tight, sit tight, you know, and wait for the day that there'll be something that will give, something hopefully good will come out. You know, perhaps my story, my experience telling you is the only thing that might come out good with what's happening with me in my life with my child and the narcissist. So even if it's just helping people and people get something from this, and it might, you know, I'd love to change a lot of things that go on, and, you know, more. I wish I could do more. And I just wish that things happen for a reason, guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. Bye.